Walk into any luxury store in the world. You will see dozens of brands, different logos, different histories, different identities. Louis Vuitton feels Parisian, Dior feels couture, Bulgari feels Roman, Tiffany feels American, Dom Pérignon feels aristocratic. They feel like competitors, but almost all of them belong to the same man. One person, one empire, 75 brands, over 100 billion euros in revenue. Every time you buy a Louis Vuitton bag, a bottle of Hennessy, a Tiffany ring, a Dior perfume, a Tag Heuer watch, there is a very good chance the money ends up in the same place. His name is Bernard Arnault, and almost nobody outside the world of business knows who he is. He does not have a Twitter account. He does not do TED Talks. He does not appear on podcasts. He is not a cultural figure. He does not seek attention. He is simply the richest person in Europe, one of the 3 richest people on earth, the architect of the largest luxury empire in human history, and he built it by doing something nobody in fashion had ever done before. He treated luxury like a corporation. This is how he did it, and what it means for every purchase you will ever make. The year is 1984. Bernard Arnault is 35 years old, an engineer by training, a builder's son from northern France. He has been running his family's construction business, and he wants out. Not because the business is failing, but because he has seen something nobody else has. The French government is trying to sell Boussac Saint Frères, a collapsing textile conglomerate, losing money. Nobody wants it, but buried inside is Christian Dior, the fashion house that dressed the most powerful women in the world, the name that still carried enormous weight globally, even as the company around it was dying. Arnault buys the entire group for 1 franc. 1 franc. In exchange, he takes on the company's enormous debts. He promises the French government he will save jobs. He presents himself as the rescuer of a French institution, and then he fires 9,000 people in 2 years. He sells every asset that is not Christian Dior, strips the company to its core, discards everything else. The French press gives him a nickname, the Wolf in Cashmere. Others call him something simpler, the Terminator, but by 1987, it works. Christian Dior is profitable again, and Arnault is already looking for his next move. In 1987, 2 of France's most iconic luxury companies merge, Louis Vuitton and Moet Hennessy. Together, they form LVMH, a new kind of luxury company, but LVMH is immediately in trouble. The 2 founders hate each other. They cannot agree on strategy, cannot agree on leadership. The company they just created is paralyzed by the men who built it. So one of them, Henri Racamier of Louis Vuitton, reaches out to Arnault. He wants an ally, someone with resources to help him take control. He invites Arnault in as a friendly investor. He gets something very different. Arnault starts buying shares, quietly, then more, then more. By 1989, just 2 years after being invited in as a partner, Arnault controls LVMH. Both founders are gone. Arnault is chairman and chief executive at 40 years old. He now controls Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, Christian Dior, and Le Bon Marché. In 5 years, starting with 1 franc, he has become one of the most powerful men in French business. And it is only the beginning. Once Arnault controls LVMH, he starts buying everything. Givenchy, Kenzo, Celine, Fendi, Bulgari, Tag Heuer, Hublot, Zenith, Dom Pérignon, Hennessy, Sephora, Tiffany & Company, and dozens more. Each acquisition follows the same logic. Find a brand with strong heritage and weak management. Buy it, install new creative leadership, rebuild the product, raise the price, protect exclusivity, repeat. But here is where most people think the story should fall apart. Because running 75 luxury brands simultaneously should be impossible. Most conglomerates that try this destroy their acquisitions. They impose central systems that strip away what made each brand special. They optimize for efficiency and kill identity in the process. Arnault does the opposite. Each brand operates almost completely independently. The creative director of Dior does not report to the creative director of Louis Vuitton. The CEO of Bulgari does not take orders from the CEO of Tiffany. Each brand has its own identity, its own culture, its own strategy, but they all share one thing: Arnault's money and Arnault's discipline. The result is something that should not be possible. 75 genuinely distinct luxury brands, all under one roof, all growing simultaneously. By 2023, LVMH generates 86 billion euros in annual revenue. Not profit, revenue. 86 billion euros from selling handbags, champagne, watches, perfume, and Arnault himself at his peak has a net worth of over $230 billion. More than Elon Musk, more than Jeff Bezos, the richest person on earth, and nobody at a dinner party can tell you his name. But here's where the story gets uncomfortable. Because behind the beautiful stores and the exquisite products, LVMH operates like any large corporation, with all the behavior that implies. In the early 2000s, a journalist named Francois Ruffin makes a documentary called Merci Patron. It investigates LVMH for quietly moving French manufacturing jobs overseas, while Arnault publicly presents himself as an ambassador of French craftsmanship. The documentary documentary wins awards. It embarrasses LVMH nationally. And then something extraordinary happens. In 2008, a man named Bernard Scorsini is the head of France's domestic intelligence service, one of the most powerful intelligence officials in the country, and he is secretly working for LVMH. Court records reveal that Scorsini used government surveillance assets to monitor a cyber cafe, attempting to identify a person trying to blackmail Arnault. He also conducted illegal surveillance against other private individuals on LVMH's behalf. He is convicted, 2 years house arrest, 2 years probation, a fine of 200,000 euros. LVMH denied Arnault was personally aware of what was happening, but they had previously settled a separate surveillance case by paying 10 million euros. Draw your own conclusions. Then in 2024, Arnault sends a memo to managers across all of his brands, banning them from speaking to 7 specific French investigative publications that had been critical of him. I formally condemn giving them information or comments, he writes. Any breach will be considered a serious infraction with corresponding consequences. The memo is immediately leaked to one of the exact publications he is trying to silence, a company selling dreams of beauty and elegance, using methods that would not be out of place in a political thriller to protect its reputation. Now, here's something Arnault has never hidden. He is building a dynasty. All 5 of his children work at LVMH. Antoine oversees communications. Delphine is CEO of Christian Dior Couture. Alexandre runs product at Louis Vuitton. Frédéric headed Tag Heuer before being promoted to run all of LVMH's watches before the age of 30. Jean is vice president of Louis Vuitton, 5 children, all inside the empire. LVMH shareholders have already passed a resolution allowing Arnault to remain in his role until the age of 85. That is 2034. He is 77 now. And in a rare extended interview this year, he spoke about legacy, about what his grandfather taught him on construction sites as a child, about what he has tried to pass to his own children, about why he is working to ensure the family controls more than 50% of LVMH's capital. When you partner with us, he told the interviewer, the companies do very well, and for shareholders, families in particular, they do very well. He is not building a company. He is building something that will outlast him, something his children and grandchildren will inherit, manage, and extend for generations. The wolf in cashmere is not hunting for himself, he is hunting for his bloodline. So here's the question that actually matters. What does all of this mean for you? Every time you choose a Dior bag over a Louis Vuitton bag, you're not choosing between competitors. You are choosing between 2 products owned by the same parent company, with profits flowing to the same shareholder. Every time you debate Bulgari versus Tiffany, you're having a conversation LVMH designed for you. The illusion of choice is one of the most powerful tools a luxury empire can deploy. Because if you believe you are choosing between genuine competitors, if you believe each brand has its own soul, its own independence, then you feel like a person of taste and discernment. But if you saw the corporate structure behind the beautiful stores, the feeling changes completely. And Arnault knows this. It is why LVMH does not advertise its own name, why the holding company stays deliberately invisible, why each brand is positioned as if it exists in isolation. The architecture of the empire is designed to be hidden, not because what LVMH does is wrong. The products are genuinely beautiful. The craft is often extraordinary, but the story you have been sold, that you are making a free, independent personal choice, is not entirely true. You are shopping inside one man's vision of what luxury should be. A man who, when asked about the word luxury, said this, "It is not a word I am fond of particularly. It is often associated with frivolity, superficiality, uselessness, all that flashy bling." The man who built the world's largest luxury empire does not believe in luxury. He believes in control. Bernard Arnault is 77 years old. His net worth is approximately $190 billion. He started with 1 franc, from one struggling fashion house, one audacious bet, one hostile takeover that rewrote the rules of what a luxury company could be. Most people said it was impossible. You cannot make luxury feel exclusive and sell it at scale. You cannot own 75 brands and make each one feel independent. You cannot be the world's richest man and remain invisible. He did all 3. And right now, in cities around the world, millions of people are making choices that feel deeply personal, choosing a perfume, buying a watch, selecting a bag, feeling sophisticated, feeling individual, feeling free. And in the background, quietly, without fanfare, without a single public appearance, one man is collecting the proceeds. The wolf in cashmere. Still hunting? Subscribe to Dark Prestige. New video every week.